Hello guys, this is PianistProgrammer, one of the Techvangelists, and if you're new to this channel, please do click the subscribe button and like buttons below. You can also share our videos because it goes a long way. Today we're going to be looking at a to-do list app with Bootstrap and pure JavaScript. May I say that this tutorial video is for beginners? If you're just starting out in web development, this tutorial is absolutely for you. Don't mind that there are so many JavaScript libraries out there today. There is Jquery, there is Vue.js, there's Angular, there's React. But I always advise that people know the language itself before diving into frameworks. So without wasting much time, let's get right to this. So what we're going to do is a simple to-do list app which will enable us to add our to-dos for the day. I think this is a very common app out there. You just simply add what you need to do for the day and you can check it if it's done or not. So we'll build this with Bootstrap and we'll build this also with pure JavaScript. Right here, I have created two folders, the CSS folder and the JavaScript folder. And then I created the index.html, of course, which you need to see the view. In this HTML file, right now is empty, and this JavaScript folder contains the bootstrap.min.js and the jquery.js. jQuery is what you need to run Bootstrap. jQuery needs Bootstrap to run. So this file is really important. And of course, this is the bootstrap.css file. I'm using the minified version. I'm using Bootstrap because I don't want us to bug ourselves right now with so many styles in our CSS, so many classes, because Bootstrap has taken the pain for us. They've written out so many classes for us to just reuse. So we'll be leveraging on that. This is the folder structure, the CSS, JavaScript, and index. So right now, let's get straight to it. I just have HTML5 here. And if you're wondering how I just did that, it's an extension in Visual Code. I'll drop the name of the extension in the description link. So I just want to set my title. I'll call this my simple to-do list app. Okay, and I'm going to create CSS links to the Bootstrap and of course to the, in case we need to overwrite anything, we'll also create our own CSS file. I'll call that style.css. Okay, then I'll bring in the JavaScript. So let me put that here. Say script. Here I'm calling this, like I said, you need jQuery to run Bootstrap, so I'm going to load that before this Bootstrap. So let's just call this out. Okay, so I'll save this now. Okay, what we want in the body is just a simple div that houses the input where you get to put what you want to do for the day and a button to say add. Okay, so let's do that right now. I'll put this just to center this. I'll put this at the center. Then I'll have another one here. Let's call this the header, which we're going to style later, and we'll use an h2 here. let me just quickly start this. I'll call this my to-do list. Okay, and right after this will be the input where we type. Yeah, the type will be text. Let's give this an ID of task input placeholder as some random stuff. Tell me what you want to add to the list. Okay, I'll give that a class. I'll give that a class of form control. This is Bootstrap class, so I'm just leveraging on that, like I said, and span. This class will be, sorry about that. Oh, sorry. Class here will be button primary. This is also Bootstrap class, and let's say add. So this is what we want. And then after this div, we want to chunk out the list. The list will be in here. The list of where we're gonna do our to-dos. Let's give this an ID of uList. Okay, I always like to keep things simple. So basically that's what we have to do here. Let's create our styles.css right now. So the styles.css. Okay, we don't need that for now. Now let's focus more on the JavaScript where we have a lot of work to do. Let's call this todo.js. Okay, and I will reference this now here. todo.js, save that. Now we can begin. This, I'll also give this an ID, say my div. We want to have a situation where we click on this add button and it does the addition of the task for us. So I will write a JavaScript function new task. Okay, we'll use this new task somewhere. Okay, let's begin to build our to-do lists. First of all, if you're new to JavaScript, you definitely know this is windows.onload function. This is the function that is called when the page loads for the first time, and every time you refresh your page, this function is called. So on this function, what do we want to do? We want to show the list. That's what we want to do. We want to show the list. And then next thing to do, we want to be able to enter a new task to add to our to-dos. So what we do here is we want to use the enter button. We want to use the enter button to alternatively add a new task, such that it's not only the button that can take care of that. So I'll leave a comment here, say use the enter button to alternatively add a new task. Okay, so this is task input. Remember where that is coming from. Just to be sure, let's go back and check. We want to take this input. Whatever is typed in this input, the ID is task input. So we do get element by ID, and then we pass the ID. We want to call the onKeyDown function in JavaScript. OnKeyDown, it takes in an event. And we want to check if that event is the enter. So the key code is starting. That's equivalent to the enter button on your keyboard. So we want to call new task. New task. New task is the function that will be creating the new task. We'll write that out in a jiffy. Okay. So we're done with the onload function. First of all, we want to show the list on onload. Then also we want to be able to add a new task via the enter button. Alright, now let's create the get to dos. So I'll call this get to dos. First of all, the to dos will be an array. I'll call this get to dos be an array. And what I want to do here is get the to dos from local storage. On your browser, there's a local storage. Why I'm doing this is because this is just on the client side, and we are not passing this to any server. We are not doing any server-side implementation here. It's all client-side. So we want to leverage on the local storage of the browser to save our to-dos every time a new to-do is added. So first of all, what I want to do here is to get the to-dos from the local storage. So I say local storage.get item, and the get item will be to do. Okay, so I want to check if the to do exists. If this is not equals to null, then get this to do's for me. JSON.parse get my to do's of that. Okay. After that, then return the to do's. Okay, that'll be all for the get to do's. Now let's also look at the remove. When a to do task is added, we also want to be able to remove it. So write this function to remove. I want to do this dot get attribute ID. Get attribute ID. Where to do's is get to do's, and it's a function. Then to do's dot splice. We want to take that off the array by ID, and that's it. Then we save it back to the storage, that's to the local storage. To do JSON.stringify. Why was that not giving me what I wanted? Okay, JSON.stringify that. Next thing we do is to show the list. We call the show list. Okay, so let's go ahead to create the show list now. First of all, we want to get the to-dos. I want to get it to-dos, and then we'll show it. Here, we're going to do something real quick. Let me just quickly format this. All we're going to do is create list elements to this UL element on our index.html, this UL element. So it's going to look like this in the very end. So if we have a new list, it will appear this way, and if we have another one, it will appear this way, and so on and so forth. But we're not going to do it here. We're going to do it from here. So we have this UL stored as our HTML variable. So let's loop over it. I is equals to 0. I less than todos. We need to get dot length of that, and I plus plus. So we want to do HTML plus equals to okay. We'll name this class list, which we're going to use much later. Let's close up this. Plus todos of I plus span class close, so that we have close for every to do. We'll give it an ID also, and that ID will simply be I this. So the ID will be 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. Okay, we'll close this up here. Have an X to show the close, and then let's close the span right here. Okay, we've also not closed our li, so we'll close that here also as well. Okay, hopefully that works. Then we close this right here. Remember that this was opened before, so we're just closing it right here. Okay, the next thing we'll do is to append what we just did to this UL list. So we want to get the element by ID, and list. We'll call the inner HTML. Okay, equals to HTML. All right. Now this part would help us get the list. Query selector all. We want to check this list that we've done it, and that's actually very important for any to-do system or for any to-dos app. You want to finish your task and be able to check it that you're through doing it. So basically for that, we'll have this. Select all the list items, and when we click on any one, we should be able to check it to indicate that we are done with that. So let's continue this. So I'll loop over this. I is less than list.length. I++. Hopefully we don't get any error. So we want to add an event listener here, which is pure JavaScript listener. Okay, and the event we're looking at here is the click event. So when this is clicked on, what should this do? We pass a function. I will say if the event dot target dot tag name is equals to li, which is the list. Yeah, let's do that in capital letters. Dot class list dot toggle checked. Okay, so what we just did here is we loop over the list, and when we click on any of them, we can check it to indicate that it's done, and this will be checked. If we click it again, it toggles the check class. We'll create that class too very soon. It toggles that check class and does the needful. Lastly, one more function that is left to be done, of course, is our new task. So let's quickly do that. New task. So we'll call this function new task. For new task, what we'll simply do is get the input value. So I'll call this input value just to keep it real simple. And simply what we're going to do is document dot get element by ID. IntelliSense is not coming up. I'm not sure why. Our task inputs, and we want to get this attribute called value. We get the value. The value is whatever you type. Okay. just so you can see that, let's quickly log this input value right here. So that whatever we type, you can see we get it here. So the value is just whatever we type. So right now we can continue. First of all, we want to check if the value is empty. If the value is empty, we want to alert that you haven't added anything, because of course you haven't added anything. So if input value is empty, now let's just quickly do a simple alert here. There are so many ways by which you can handle this. It's not allowing me to do that. Alright, maybe I will have to do an escape that. Okay, that works. Else we'll just go forward and add it to do to the array. Okay, so to do's, first of all we get the to do's. We get the to do's which we want to add. Then the to do's will push this input value, that's whatever is added, we push it there. Then we save this to local storage. So we've been calling it to do json.stringify to do's. That's the small letter to do's. Then we show the list. Quick one, we show the list. We want to also be able to set it back to empty, because this is just the client side. It's not going to make any reload, so we just want to make it empty again, and of course return false. Okay, so that should do for the todos.js. First of all, we took care of the unload. We simply just show the list, and then we did get todos function also to remove, to show list and new task. Okay, we'll save that and let's see how we're doing here. Okay, so it's pretty simple. If I say hey, it just simply adds hey, and you can see it here, of course, and with the X button. Oh, list is not defined. List is not defined. Just a minute, let me just quickly go through this. Okay, because of limited time, I will not be able to write the whole CSS here, so I just have to bring it in from a previous project that we've done before. Okay, so if we reload this, of course, because this is already in the memory, it's the two to-dos here are just here, and we can verify this in the storage. As you can see, it's saved already in this to-dos. You have hey and hey, and that's why you have this here. Okay, we have our small problem. File not found. Alright, style.css. Okay, this is styles. So let's correct that, and I think we should do just fine. All right, so this is what the final application looks like, and let's quickly take a test. So I say visit the gym. Remember, I can either hit enter or use the add button. So let me hit enter, and this time around let's test go shopping. Okay, also works. By clicking this, you can see that the color changes, just to indicate that I have completed this task. And where that is spelled out, let's check right there again, and it is here. When we click on this, it toggles the class checked from class list, class checked. Okay, and this is what we have checked before. We have this, and checked will now have this. All right, guys, I hope you find this very useful. Like I said, I'll drop the links in the description below, and the repository links as well. Again, thanks guys for your time. Thanks for watching this. I'll drop the name of this extension. Basically, you can just come to extension here and find it when I drop it in the description below, so that you have those beautiful, nice IntelliSense that I get. Alright, that'll be all for now.